Most Edmonton homeowners lose tens of thousands of dollars when listing their home, and it's usually due to a few crucial mistakes that they make. I help Edmonton homeowners every week sell their home, and today we're going to walk through the right way to list your home. So the first thing we have to go over is understanding your market. Edmonton is not like some of the other major suburbs like Toronto and Vancouver. Different areas of Edmonton are going to vastly change what different price types you're going to see. It's a hyper local market here. So communities like St. Albert are going to vary different than older homes in the Oliver area, where you look at Windermere, you look at some of the new areas popping up around the city. These are going to vastly change different hyper sections of what the value you can get for your property within the Edmonton city limits or the close communities around it. Next is going to be seasonality. You're going to look at a high-paced market in the spring and fall markets, where as in the winter time, you're going to see such a slowdown in terms of new inventory hitting the market or buyers walking through listing. Not everybody wants to go house shopping and plan for a move in -30. And lastly is going to be buyer types that are in your market. Right now, we're seeing a lot of move-up buyers, first-time buyers, or new Canadians entering into the Edmonton market, and this is causing a surge in Edmonton home pricing over the last few years. But we are pulling away from a seller's market and into more of a balanced market. So you should see a little bit more conditions, a little bit more time on market for options here in Edmonton. Probably the most important part we can go over is price. Now that's what everybody cares about when they want to go and sell their home. They want to sell it for the most amount of money with the least conditions possible and as fast as possible with your possession date. And that's not what always happens if you don't follow crucial plans and list your home appropriately. Things that sellers like to do when they're unsure about what their home will get in the market is they want to test it. But testing the market means you're putting your home and you're listing it right away. Maybe you rush it, you don't clean it, or you don't make those repairs that you think you were going to do. And you just want to see if there's somebody's going to come along and purchase it without you doing the work that needs at a higher price. And that could hurt your listing and chances of selling in the future greatly. Another important thing to consider is using comparable sales, not active listings around your area. Homes that have actually sold within the last 3 months or 6 months give you an idea of what your home could be worth right now. And lastly for this would be different marketing strategies, but there's different pricing strategy. What I saw a lot last year was sellers listing their home a little bit undervalued to try and drive multiple offers and increase the amount of money, jumping it way over the listed price. It's a little bit more risky because you don't get the traction you want in the marketplace. Your home is now listed a little undervalued. So before listing your home, you also need to consider preparing your home to be on the market. It's not a fun time getting your home listed and cleaning and trying to live like a show home, decluttering it, and getting some of those small renovations done that you've been putting off for a little while. They could be paint touch-ups, the caulking lines. You can talk about yard maintenance up front. You want to look at the curb appeal of your house, so when that people walk through, they can imagine what their lives are going to look at it and not what your life looks in it right now that you have to unpack. Because we live in Edmonton, half the year we spend in darkness. It gets dark by 5 o'clock for probably like 4 months. So what I see, 80% of the homes that I walk through is burnt out light bulbs. Small thing that I think 50% of people don't look at when listing their home is replacing all the light bulbs, making sure that all the lights are turned on, especially when you have evening time showing. Another one you can consider is looking at your utility room. I know a lot of people, when they sell their home, they try to declutter their home, and it either goes into the garage or goes into a storage room or what a lot of people use as their utility. So having access to all the utilities within that room is important, so you can't just stack the boxes to the ceiling. So next will be staging and photography. Having professional photos done is really important. And I know that seems obvious, but I can't tell you how many showings that I make a week where as I'm flicking through the photos, they're iPhone pictures with people in the background, dirty dishes, all the lights aren't turned on. So having professional photographer come through, take listing photos for you, which is part of my package that we do when you list your home, but it's really important that you make sure you don't skip this test. You take the time to get the home prepared before listing photos. Super important. So next process is going to be marketing. Looking at exposure just past MLS is important, or realtor.ca. You're going to look at wanting to do as many open houses as you can, especially within the first few weekends of you listing your property. So as realtors, we obviously have relationships with other realtors. So we usually send our new listings to our different agents that we have good relationships with to see if they have any buyers that they're working with to try and gain that additional exposure. We also have customer databases of other buyers that we've been working with over a number of years that are still looking at different options. So having that additional exposure could make the difference between a quick sale and something that takes a little bit longer. Next up is going to be having an established negotiation strategy. So as a seller, you need to have a good idea of where the numbers that you want, the possession dates that you want, conditions. You have to have an idea and a plan for multiple offers, where people are going to be able to submit their offers and a listing presentation time. It's all very crucial when getting prepared to sell your home. Having an idea that the best offer isn't always the one with the most amount of money. Sometimes it has to do with timing, possession dates, conditions. You don't want to go through an inspection, so you're looking for unconditional offers, and that will impact everything when you're listing your house. Next thing we're going to get into is common seller mistakes. One of the biggest mistakes that sellers make is they chase down the market. They try and look at listings that have sold way over list price because of either the renovations that they undervalue in the marketplace, or it's a triple garage versus a double garage, or finished basement rather than unfinished. They try and chase down the market. They overlist with their price too high, and then the home sits on the market for 2 months and they're pissed off. So having the correct amount, pricing it properly, very important. Another really common mistake that people make is rejecting a very strong early offer. They think if their home has been on the market for 3 days and they get a really strong offer up front, good reasonable conditions, possession dates, but it came too early, they get suspicious. They think that they leave it on the market a bit longer, that they'll get more money if they just wait and let everybody have an opportunity to view it. And then they end up pissing off the buyers or not negotiating properly, and it's sitting on the market for 2 months. The next common seller mistake would be over renovating. You have to be careful when making renovations to your property, especially if you are thinking about selling in the near future. Typically, you see about a 50% turn on large renovations. So if you were to put $50,000 into a property, the immediate value of your home would go up about $25,000, of course, depending on the renovations. So be careful when making those assessments on what you want to change, and usually the small things go a very long way. Now, over the past 2 years, we've seen a seller's market, and a common theme that we see in a seller's market is a race to the bottom in terms of commission. You're going to see agents who are going to be offering less and less to list your home because it's a busy market and they want activity. Now, in this market, getting a lower commission agent may not be the best choice for you. High quality agents, they charge standard commission rates and they offer high service. So make sure you're not compromising on saving a little bit of money in the long run when you can have a very smooth process, have a listing sell at or above list price, set expectations properly, and achieve the offer you want on your home. So if you're thinking about selling here in the city of Edmonton or surrounding areas and you want a clear plan, not just a sign on the front of your lawn, my name's Brady with River Valley Realty and Maxwell Challenge. Please reach out to me even if you're months away from thinking about selling. It's important to learn about the market, understand what it takes to sell your home successfully in this changing market that we have ourselves here in Edmonton. I'm going to be posting content all year, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your feedback on what you think about my videos. Thank you so much and enjoy 2026.